Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome all of you. And tonight, we're going to talk about war. Actually, what I'm going to try to bring to you guys today, it's not talk about wars itself. For a couple weeks, we started a row of lectures talking about the planetary transition. And this is one of the subjects that we're going to treat tonight. At the end of the night, by the end of the night, I want you guys to see what I saw preparing this class, and that we try to really make this image true. Because right now, in the way that we are living, this is not true, right? Most of the, I cannot say most, but some parts of the world are not shaking hands like this. And let me make a big question to you guys. Why? Why do you think that we still have so many wars? Why do we still need be in conflict sometimes? I'm not talking about just the physical wars, the wars that we know, the tragical ones, the ones in the past, the ones that are happening right now, but the ones that we have inside of us. Why do you guys think that in this world, we still need? Any thoughts?
We're too busy thinking about ourselves. We don't think about the others.
Yeah, this is a big point, a big point. What I want to bring to you guys today is the way that the Spiritism explained to us, why do you have wars, and the way that we can stop them. I'm not focusing on the war itself, but I'm going to focus what we can do. How we can do better. You're right. One of the words that I use, it was pride, to describe why do we have. But the Spirit's books brings to us that the Spirit's book and also the Gospel according to Spiritism brings to us that we are compared to spiritual children by our Father, right? When I was writing this lecture, I have 3 children, and they fight. I cannot deny this. So, and then they were fighting. And I tried to concentrate. And I said, stop, guys. I'm trying to concentrate here. And then this came so easy to me. This is why they call us children, because they were fighting for nothing. Like they were fighting for difference of judgment. One of my children was saying that this is blue, and my daughter was saying, no, this is green. This is a kind of blue-green. And then the fight was becoming bigger, and then at some point they were like really angry with each other. So it was from nothing. And then I said, oh my gosh, sometimes they do. Everything the big wars start from nothing. Start from a spark, right? From nothing. What the Gospel according to Spiritism says to us is that God's compare us, the good spirits actually, the elevate spirits compare us to spiritual children because we are still naive about the truths of the universe. We are ignorant without the knowledge of the moral laws that should govern, that actually govern the whole world. And we're kind of moved by instincts most of the time. We are triggered too easily. We cannot control ourselves that good, right? But if we go to the Spirit's book, Kardec asked the spirits the same question that I asked to you guys. Why do we have wars? May I have a volunteer to read for me, please? Because it's... No?
I can read.
Please.
742. What is the cause that impels men to war? The predominance of the animal nature over the spiritual nature, and the desire of satisfying his passions. In the barbaric state, the various peoples know no other right than that of the strongest, and their normal condition is therefore that of war. As men progress, war becomes less frequent through their avoidance of the causes which lead it to. And when it becomes inevitable, they wage more humanity.
So, what it feels when you read this, it's like we are too close animal nature, right? The predominance of animal nature. So it seems that we are closer from the beginning of the creation than from the end, if there is an end, right? We are too close to the animal instincts that we once were, right? In the book After the Storm, written by Divaldo Franco, through Joanna de Angelis, through Divaldo Franco, she says that the reason that men still are so bellic, still needs this kind of conflict, is because we are afraid. It's a way to survive. It's an inner will to survive, to be protected. So what we can think about this is they are putting together pride and fear. Why pride? Because if we think of ourselves in the way that we are, all equals, all human beings, all in the, most of all, in the same level of evolution, why we would try to input ourselves above others? Like why we will try to go over others, like input our culture, take their territory, take the things that make them be at home. Why should we do this? So pride, Emmanuel describes to us that pride is one of the worst, if I can say that, disease in the earth. If the man knew how dangerous this was, how destructible, and unfortunately, we still have inside of our hearts, inside of my heart, inside of most of the people's hearts, I believe, and fear. Sometimes Joanna says that sometimes we try to hide that fear going over somebody. If you guys, I'm gonna try to make you think, have an image in your head. An animal, when it's very hurt, if it's a savage animal, right? If you try to help them, a lion. Do you think the lion's gonna wait over there and, okay, give you the little hand, the paw, and you're gonna make you're gonna help them? No, of course not. Most of them, if you try to help them, they're gonna attack because they have fear that you're gonna make worse the suffering that they have inside, right? So, remember when I said that we are spiritual children, and the ignorance is one of the things that the Spiritist said that we need to improve, the ignorance about the moral laws of the universe. The big thing here is the humankind in this level of evolution. I'm always speaking about in our level of evolution, right? In the world of trials and expiation, trying to become a new world, going to planetary transition. We think that we are superior because of the wrong things. We think that we are more smart than others. We are more beautiful, charming. We have some material skills in our body than others. Or we have more money than others. And sometimes we spend our lives running after those things that we won't take with us to the end. Not to the end, to what comes after. And It's easy to realize that when we think about us as immortal beings, right? Guys, this is a dream. I heard this in the lecture, and I was, what a beautiful thing. This is a dream, what we are living. I know that life is hard for some of us. I know that we pass for so much suffering sometimes. But if you compare the time, I'm talking about the time, this is just a dream. This is like this, if you compare to the eternity. And I think it's time to wake up. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, right? Because if you keep dreaming with the wrong things, when you wake up, you're gonna fall in a depression. You're gonna fall in the situation that and this is the, unfortunately, is what we heard from the spirits. This is a big problem when they wake up in the real life. Let's move on. And then Kardec kept asking to the spirits if the war is really necessary. Why the spirits allowed us to have? Because we know, right? Everything that we have here, it was, thank you, Bruno. So somehow God allowed us to have, right? So why? And this was the answer of the spirits: freedom and progress. And then Kardec was, I beg your pardon? How? Freedom, because most of when wars happens in some places, we know that the people, they are slaves, right? They suffer. They have so much, oh my God, so much suffering, so much pain. And then Kardec says that, the spirit says that we need to keep our mind open, because most of these sufferings, they are there for a reason. That people that are suffering like that, they may have a collective expiation. They may need to learn something. Something good will come from that. And that is a very, very beautiful message when they say that even in the darkness, and then we can bring this to our lives, even in the darkness, don't close your eyes. Because if you keep them open, and if you keep looking, you're gonna see sparkles of light, because the light is always there. Even when you are down, you know what, when you are in the bottom, the light will be there if you look for it. But if you keep your eyes closed, you're never gonna see it. And I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later in another slide. From the same book, After the Storm, that I used to prepare this lecture today, Joanna brought us this message today. Karina, thank you.
Notwithstanding the lowest savage feelings that war generates, it inspires people to sacrifice their lives for those they love. It reveals the nobility of renunciation and abnegation of heroes who give all they have in the laboratories of research and experimentation to find solutions to existing problems. They make revolutionary discoveries in record time, stimulated by the thought of standing up the end of animosity and helping the victims of rage and battle.
Yes, this was one of the things that I found more when I was studying for this lecture. Something good will raise from all that evil that we are seeing. But now I want to stop thinking about the wars, about another countries. Let's think about our life, right? Because it's what I'm going to say is going to be very related to that. How many times, I believe that this happens in your life too, right? How many times we saw something strange, something not good happening in our lives, and then we let happen. And then we saw, and then we saw it again, and then we let happen. And then this thing becomes so bigger, and with a trouble so intense that sometimes we need to reach the bottom to learn how to climb again. This is what the Spiritist says. Some nations, they do need to go to all that privation, to everything they're passing through, because this is the only way that they can come up to the air. I'm not saying that the pain is justified. No, not at all. But some of them, they will need to pass through those things. And when I say that, because I was looking for images to use in this lecture, and they are so painful to see children's, elderly people. But we need to think about like this. This is not the end, right? They're not finished. They just come back home, and they will be back again. And probably when they come back one more time to this land, everything was going to be different. The people that they influenced, the people that were around them, a lesson was, they learned something. And the next time, it's going to be different. I don't know. For someone who lost someone too close, maybe this is not serve as a comfort, but at least help us to understand, right? And when she says that, inspire people to do research, to fight a lot about those problems that the men create. I choose some examples to you guys, how that works. We have dozens. There were just 4 of them. So this one is the first one that I would talk about. It's Braille. It's Louis Braille. So he lost his vision when he was 5 in Paris. And at the time they were having a civil war. Their parents thought that, oh my gosh, my son is an invalid. But they try one more time. They bring them, it was in the country part. So they bring him to Paris and then put him in an army school for soldiers, right? And there, he could pay attention. He could learn a silent language from the soldiers that they used to use in the fields, a silent language to not be, for the people don't know, try to don't discover that they were there, right? And then he mastered this art. And then he changed until he create the Braille code, the code that is used until today. We have Charles Drill. So Drill was a doctor in the First World War. He lost so many patients, and his biography said that he felt a pain so deep for not being able to save those people, because the biggest problem that they have is you need to transport blood from one place to another, but the blood gets messy, the blood gets bad, because it was a long time, right? And then somehow he discovered how to separate the red cells to the plasma, and then he could transport the blood cells. And then he was the first one to be able, and this is how the soldiers could get transfusions of blood in the other camps far away. Alexander Fleming found out the penicillin, Second World War. I don't know if he would be here without antibiotics, right? So it was to save the soldiers. Because of the amputation, lots of them died for sepsis. And then after years of work, hard work, he found out, he created penicillin. And this guy, I kind of think I know him. I don't, but let me tell a small story here. The tech guys over here probably know who he is. You cannot walk around and not see his face everywhere most of the time. This is Alan Turing. Turing was the guy who creates the first computer, right, Ricardo? The first big computer, the big machine, right? And it was created in the Second World War, the World War II. So it was a machine. It's cryptographer, and then they need to understand which message the Germany were passing to each other, where they were attacked, and this is how this man worked years and years and years to create a machine that could do that. And so he's very famous in my house. See, I have a baby. It was born like a couple months ago. And my husband, he's a software engineer. Mm-hmm. So he really thinks in the bottom of his heart that our son, Alan, was named after him. But it wasn't. It was named after Alan Kardec. But let him be, right? Let me be happy. Let him think that he can have a word in my house. But so this is why I think he's very close to me. So, not joking, but these were the sparkles of light that I talk about, you guys, in the beginning. In the middle of the darkness, when everything was so difficult, something good came, and so good that helped generations, probably our generation just here, because some of these guys. But how about you? How about you guys? Let's talk about ourselves. You guys don't think that I will keep here talking about wars, things that happened like 7 years ago, and not talking about the war that happened inside, happened here, right? Are we pacifiers of our own wars? What do you guys think? What is inside of our head? What is inside of our heart? What do we disseminate through our words to other person, to ourselves? I don't think we are in times of peace. I hardly think that is somebody that is in times of peace right now. But I want to be clear in one thing. Pacify, it's not neglect. Remember that Joanna says to us that the men that make war, so every time that we make war with somebody, with ourselves, or with somebody close to us, it's because we have something inside. We're trying to hide something inside. So we need to treat this. We don't need to be, oh, I'm going to pacify, I'm not saying anything. I'm going to be here. I'm not be the one who make war. But the thing is still inside. One day it's going to come up. And in my experience, comes up in the worst moment of your life. Right? So let's give the, I had another situation with my children. I'm talking about family because we're going to get there, right? War, family, so we're going to get there. I have another situation with my children. Sophia came to me one day and then she said, Mom, yesterday my teacher said that and that about me. She said that I was good. She said blah, blah, blah. I said, congratulations, I'm very proud of you. And then she kept talking. And then I did something. I did this well. Today I got here and then I helped Alan. And then I did, and then I said, okay, nice, very nice. And then Miguel just came. Mom, can I have a chocolate from the chocolate box that you buy this morning? This is lunchtime, I'm hungry. And I said, sure. She said, Miguel, you ruined everything. I was here trying to get the chocolate for myself. How do you do this? And then Miguel said, okay, sorry, do you want a chocolate? And she said, yes. And then she turned around and then she went there, right? So these were my kids. But what we are, kids. Who is our father? God. The talk that my kid has to me sometimes is the way that we communicate, that we should communicate. How do we solve those conflicts that we have inside? One of the big things that I can tell you guys is through prayer, is talking to him, is asking him to help you. Everybody has his way. Some of us go like Sophia, God, I help somebody. I was good. I did something. And they ask what they want to ask. Some of them are straight. But believe, something is true. If the time is right, it's lunchtime, remember. It was lunchtime. If the time is right, if you are ready, and if you deserve it, He's going to give you. He's going to listen to you. At some point, maybe not now, maybe not 5 years from now, maybe even in this life. But you're going to have answer. Because one thing the Spirit says to us, no prayer stay without answer. You're going to be listened. You need just to talk. You need just to do something, right? And this is one of those things. Once you become Spiritist, once you start to study Spiritism, there is one thing that is one idea that comes after to you again and again and again about inner reform. And it's this inner reform that is going to treat the things that we are hiding, that somehow, at some point, is going to make us start a war. And if we keep using this inner, if we start this inner reform, if we start to try to change ourselves, it won't be easy. Not at all. It won't be easy. But every one of us have every day a chance to make something better, to make something good, to use the skills. Remember the skills that I said in the beginning, that sometimes that we in this world, we think that they are everything. Intelligence, how do you look, or how money do you have? But in the end of the day, it's not what we have, it's what you do with what we have, right? If you work in the office, if you are so smart, you don't need to find penicillin, you don't need to create penicillin, you don't need to create the first computer. But if there is a new guy who knows nothing, and you know so much, why you don't try to help? This is just one example. If you work to yourself, like cleaning houses, being an Uber, whatever what you do with your life, try to do a smile for the person that you are giving your service. A good morning. How are you doing? Small things, small sparkles. I want to remember you guys. I want all of you think in the pool, right? In a day without wind. You know, that huge pool, like Olympic size, very, very, very calm. If you let one drop go in the middle of the pool, what is going to start? Waves. They start small, right? But they become big, big. And if each one of us give a drop of love, because these are drops of love. We're not all love yet. I'm going to beat something. We're not yet, but these are drops of love. If you give a drop, all of us in this room give a drop of love every day. Can you guys imagine how many people they're gonna receive a drop of love? That's gonna start as a drop, but it's gonna finish as a wave. And people who are love, they don't make war. They don't kill anybody. If they receive that much of love, if everybody could give those little drops, I am pretty sure that nobody is going to kill each other. Nobody is going to do the bad things that we know that we are capable to do. And this is a very good message of Mother Teresa that I brought to us today. Peace and war begin at home. If we truly want peace in the world, let us begin by loving one another in our own families. If you want to spread joy, we need for every family to have joy. But let me ask you something. Your family, the family of you, each one of you, they're perfect. What do you
No,
guys think?
No one is. No.
They are.
We're not perfect.
Oh,
Our families
I
are going to be
disagree.
perfect.
I agree and disagree with you guys. They are. They are perfect to you. They are exactly what you need. You have the parents that you need to have. You have the brother, the sister, the husband, children that you have to be. Because they push you. They make you realize. They make you go here. They make you anger. They make you confused. They make you sad. They make you happy. Sometimes so happy that you can forget about everything else when you look at some of them. And instead of complain sometimes, we should be grateful, because not everybody has the chance to have a teacher inside of our house. The Spiritist, the good Spirit says to us that our house, our family, they are our best school, our best teacher. Everything that we need, probably everything that we need to evolve, that you need to work on, you're gonna find inside of your family. You're gonna find to the ones that are very close to your heart. So they are not perfect. They are more than perfect. They are what we need, because we are not perfect. So I don't think something, just God, right? Perfect. But I don't think something else is perfect. But if I do need a medicine so badly and that medicine is going to save my life, doesn't care if it's perfect. No, it's exactly what I need. So it's good for me. It's perfect for me. So I want us to, going home, think this about how can we reflect? How can we give our drops to people? How can we control our conflicts? How can we pray? How can we ask help? And how can we find the things that we need inside of our own house, inside of our own family, as mirrors? They probably gonna show you what do you need to work on. This was the bibliography that I used.